Stuart, back to you.
Rich Edson, thanks very much. All right, from income taxes to a tax on your gas. A lead editorial in this weekend's New York Times called for a big hike in gas taxes or oil import duties to get pump prices back to $4 a gallon or more. That way, we would be more willing to buy the fuel-efficient cars that Detroit will be forced to make. And this is good policy, says radio talk show host Nancy Skinner. Nancy, great to see you again. I am shocked that you would think this is good policy. Didn't you know that the best way, most efficient way to tax poor people is to tax gas and have legalized lotteries?
Oh, the only reason you like it is that it's regressive, right, Stuart? Is
no,
that
I
what
don't
you're
like
saying?
it. I don't understand why you would like it. It is regressive.
Well,
it's horribly aggressive.
Because it is regressive. I will agree with you on that. But here's the situation, Stuart. We have two objectives here. We have to have a fiscal stimulus at this juncture, and we need energy independence, and we need to have consumer demand for more fuel-efficient vehicles. I'm actually, live in Detroit, and the price has now dropped. It's $1.67 a gallon. They say it's going to be, your earlier guest said gas is going to be oil cheap and plentiful for the near future. So we can't achieve that without a price signal. And there's three different ways. A gas tax is the simplest. That's good. A carbon tax is better, and the cap and trade ultimately is the best. But that's a longer-term thing.
So here we are. We're going to subsidize Detroit, bail them out, force them to make small, fuel-efficient green cars, and then, just in case we, the people, don't want to buy them, we're going to force people to buy them by raising the price of gas to $4 a gallon. Do you think you're going to get away with this, forcing the people into the kind of cars which they don't necessarily want to buy and drive?
It's not forcing. They do when the price was up to $4 a gallon. And you know what? The price signal works.
You're interfering in the marketplace. You're interfering in my free choice of what I want to drive with my family. I want to drive a reasonably sized car. I happen to drive a Chrysler Town & Country van. I like it. Why are you trying to force me out of it into some nasty little beat-up European car that I'm all scrunched up in?
Who
this
says
is America.
That? Stuart, see, that's all the mythology about the thing.
Mythology?
Once we move past it, let me finish, Stuart. When we move past the technology, then size really doesn't matter here. We're talking about electric vehicles with a whole different power source. It's not about small European cars, but we have a climate crisis. And, even in that same New York Times, do you know that Arthur Laffer, the Reagan economic advisor...
I just didn't realize that the climate crisis, the oceans are rising, I didn't realize that that was behind it as well. But the editorial in the Times did indeed say that.
Well, there's two of them. Now, Arthur Laffer of the Laffer curve, the Reagan economic advisor, is saying indeed we need exactly that, a carbon tax. He would take a trade-off. You raise the tax on carbon and you reduce the payroll taxes, so it's revenue neutral, if that's what you want. So you're taxing what we don't want, and you're rewarding work, what we do want. And this is something where I think conservatives and Democrats could come together. Congressman Inglis of South Carolina has also co-authored that op-ed. Here's the new administration. Energy independence, fiscal stimulus, helping the climate, strengthening the dollar, reducing our current accounts deficit. It is. Krugman's right, Stuart.
Nancy,
it's a win-win-win-win-win.
Don't you remember in July of this year the political outcry when the price of gas reached $4.11 a gallon as a national average? You think that the people who voted for President-elect Obama, who put him into power, who gave the Democrats a massive majority in Congress, you think those very same people will now turn around and accept $4 a gallon gasoline because it comes from you and your tax policy?
If their payroll taxes are reduced so that they have more money to spend, you know what? President Bush, after 9/11, what he didn't do is say there's no sacrifice involved. He didn't ask any Americans to do
that is part of the deal? Will you guarantee that the money taken in from higher gas taxes will be paid back in the form of lower payroll taxes? You think that's going to happen?
I think that politically that might have to happen. If I had my way, I think that money should be diverted into the investment in the whole green jobs industry, solar, wind, geothermal, hydro, the whole thing, to create more jobs here, to reduce our dependence on foreign oil so that we don't send those petrodollars to dictators. But I think to get a deal through the House and Senate and have Republicans jump on board, it'll have to be revenue neutral.
Last one, real fast. If we did get a big hike in the gas tax, would you then allow us to go out and drill for our own oil? Probably not.
We only have 3% of the proven reserves. So drill where we can, make them use the leases they will, but it's futile. The future, technology, Stuart, embrace the future, the computers. Don't cling to your typewriter.
You just don't like, it's a buggy whip that I cling to, but that's another story entirely. You don't like cheap gas, do you? You really don't like it. Admit it.
Now, I'm telling you, when Bill Ford Jr., when the auto industry says, look, if you want great technology, then you've got to make sure that the consumer demand is in place. And it's economics. Arthur Laffer of the Reagan team is calling for it.
So
this is
manipulate
Reaganomics,
consumer
Stuart.
demand. Manipulate the market.
Absolutely.
Manipulate
That's
consumer
how you do
demand.
It.
I'm a refugee from those tiny little cars in Europe. Don't squish me. I've got 6 kids, Nancy. Don't force me into those nasty little minis, please. Regrettably, Nancy, we're out of time, and I know you've got to...
You can plug in your hybrids, Stuart.
What a shame we're out of time, Nancy. That was such fun. Now go and appear on Air America. Love you. See you later, Nancy Skinner. Thank you very much indeed.
You bet.
What Wall Street could